starting off the Moments of Clarity EP right now, possibly your guys' best release. Like, what do you think stuck out so much about that record right now?
What's sticking out about it? It's definitely heavier this time around, just because it's the first time I've ever dropped to like a G-sharp tuning. So I think that's like the biggest difference, and also the fact that we obviously got a new vocalist, so like that makes a big difference in the sound. Well, a bit of a difference in the sound, so yeah.
What are the topics that you guys deal with lyrically on it? 'Cause it seems really positive. You know, it's that music you can kind of look to when you're feeling shitty or you just want that motivation. At least that's what I get from it.
Well, that was actually the first time that I've ever written lyrics. Because all of our past music, the lyrics were written by our own singer, Singer-songwriter. So like, I think this time around, you know, like the whole EP and like the lyrics and stuff were written before we actually confirmed Ian into our band, because we were just kind of rushed to get it out because we wanted to have something to display our new vocals and stuff. That was the first time I ever wrote lyrics for the band, and I was just trying to like kind of capture what Garrison done in the past with like really just kind of positive, kind of inspirational sort of lyrics, but just with like a more like tangible like vocabulary and language and stuff for people, you know. So like that was the goal. As far as like the subjects, yeah, I mean there's definitely like some personal things and some things dealing with like the name Moments of Clarity is like that song and that name related to like the changes that we made as a band and like getting new members and stuff like that. Just, like, yeah. But, yeah.
Have you ever heard of the term Posi-core? Like, it's like subgenre shit, they call it gen and all that. I've always heard Posi-core, and it's kind of stuck with me to describe bands. I feel like there's a lot of bands that are positive right now with their lyrics instead of just being death metal, over the top, trying to kill something. Do you you ever see that term or use it or try to be one of those positive bands?
Are you familiar with Posi-core?
I'm not too.
I know exactly what it means, you're hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never heard it thrown around, but the fact is that most of us play music to get away from some stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's our outlet.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if you go to it to be negative, we're just going to be really negative people, honestly. So, we're going to try to be positive with our music. Influence positivity as much as we can.
No, I definitely dig it. It's definitely something to get down to. You guys announced recently that you signed with Sumerian. That's totally awesome. They got an awesome roster. You guys are perfect on there. What is it like being a signed band? You already had to deal with Tragic Hero, and then you're on the road touring. What is that grind like to get to that next level, like as a touring band?
The grind? It's really more endurance than anything, I guess. Just a lot of waiting and kind of dealing with stepping outside your comfort zone, like sleeping in the van, not having like money when you're on tour and stuff, and having to go home to work a job where you make money that you don't have fun doing. So like that was the grind.
That's exactly the definition of it.
Hopefully the grind is like slowing down at this point. I mean, like definitely feels like things are getting a lot better. I mean, like, well, of course they are, but everyone still has to work jobs and stuff. You know, but it's getting less intense, you know, because things are getting easier and it's getting more stable on the road, less grindy.
There's definitely a large group of like the local band scene that thinks once they get a record deal that it's all over, that they've made it, and then they kind of fall off. And we've probably bought that CD or two. Like, how do you guys feel about what you've done to keep going? Like, what would you tell a young band that's trying to do that right now?
Just keep going. I mean, if things get crappy, if you pop a tire on the road, if you have a crap show, just keep going.
Well, it's like the stuff that people tell you in the beginning, like when you play a show for like 10 people, you know, like those 10 people are like, you guys are awesome, and they're really stoked, and they're like, you guys are gonna go somewhere. Like you believe it, and then like over time, you see how like slow of a process it is, and then like everyone gets discouraged sometimes, but it's like I feel like there's this like climactic point in every individual's like career pursuing music or doing anything else, where it's like you get so burnt out on grinding that it's like, I mean, quitting now, or like I don't know, it's just like you get to that climactic point and people like usually quit right there, but it's like the people that just get right past that one next level actually make it. So it's like So it's like people are saying like you guys are gonna be like big. It's like that might be true, but it's like the people that actually believe in themselves and like get over that one. It's like this one little hump. And, like a lot of people I feel like quit right before it gets awesome. And they're like shit. Like that's what could have been happening if I went on just a couple months longer. And so it's like so I think we're finally past the hump. Now it's just like we see exactly where we're going. Like oh okay, so it's like we're still grinding, but it's the visual of what comes next. Yeah, the visual
You
of what
see the light at the end of the tunnel.
the visual of what comes next has been personified just by seeing like what can happen when a band like ours portray it. So it's like so a lot of people are like yeah that'll never happen for me because they haven't visually seen that it does happen for people. But now we're seeing that like bands literally like make careers out of playing music. Yeah, like we're like literally August Portrait is doing it. So it's like oh. So now it's like a lot
Perseverance is the key word.
Endurance and perseverance. It's more that like hard work. Unless you hate sitting in a band, we kind of don't mind it. But like, if you hate sitting in a band, like being dirty is just the worst thing. I know stuff does suck, but it's like if you can get used to that, it's mostly just endurance. And I guess it is hard work, but it's like easy. Right? It's just fun hard work. So.
When I first seen the name ERRA on the internet and thought, who the hell is this band? And started to look you up. I found you guys are from Alabama, and that like threw me off. There's the only other band I can think of from Alabama that's like around is like Maylene or something.
Oh, I was saying Gideon.
Gideon's from there?
Yeah,
Completely forgot Gideon's from there. They're on tour right now too.
I was saying Gideon.
What's it like being from Alabama and playing like the only band that does this kind of style of music?
We still playing up.
Yeah, Alabama doesn't have much of a scene. Clearly, because most people don't see it. But at the same time, when there is a band like us or Gideon from Alabama, people pay attention to it because it's like, oh, these guys, there's not like too much oversaturation of this kind of genre. So even though it's not the best scene, people like, at least know what's going on.
They can still see that one name that's doing something.
Yeah.
It was the Contortionist being from Indiana. That's like that's a place where you show. What?
They're cool with us, dude. We like them.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. That's like another place where like you would expect that like genre to come out. Like Chicago, it's like Well Maya, Lucy, Los Buenos Aires, all from Chicago.
Yeah.
Minnesota after the Burial Reflection. So like.
Yeah, Minnesota Blue too. It's crazy. It's just crazy to see where bands come from now, but I definitely feel it. What's in store?
Sorry, I was just gonna say I definitely don't think location will limit anybody's music potential. I don't think that's a thing.
I'm glad to hear that.
I think things like pick up quicker for certain bands if they're like right next door to if you're from Los Angeles, there's like a lot more you're exposed to.
LA County, and that sucks too.
You can physically meet in person with the people that can potentially be like putting together pieces for your band, like your managers and stuff. And by meeting in person, they like you, they'll feel more inclined to do things for you. But for us being in Alabama and having a manager from California, we didn't meet him for the first 2 years working harder. So there are some advantages, but overall it's like it's how hard we work. And I think being from Alabama makes us work harder because it's like my parents never gave us a van in the beginning. Like we were never given a trailer. Like
definitely not the rich kid band.
We acquired all that. Like even if we had like guys in the band, like at first even if we had a couple guys that like had parents with money. They weren't putting it towards this. Like, no way, like that.
It's hard to convince a modern to put anything into something like that.
Yeah.
Especially when they're sucking.
Yeah.
Yes. So that work ethic, I feel like, is harder to come by if you like find a kid in LA that has like parents with so much money that just buys them like Axe Effects right off the bat, like whatever guitar they want.
That's all it takes to get signed right is Axe Effects.
Yeah, it's all.
It comes in the box.
It's talent in a box.
And Guitar Pro.
I use the same freaking RGA-121 Ibanez for like 3 years without a backup.
And it does the trick.
Yeah,
Clearly.
That's all I
It's
had.
still a great guitar.
Didn't have money to buy a guitar. It's like that was the guitar.
What's in store for ERRA in 2015?
Priority is writing and recording the new album. The writing for the new album has already happened, but we're going to record it starting in the summertime. So hopefully that will come out in the fall or winter of 2015. At the latest, early 2016. So that's what 2015 is. As far as touring after the summer, couldn't tell you because we don't know yet.
Could be something to look out for. ERRA full length coming out. Any last words?